let's do a talk on self-management. And I chose the topic. It's a very interesting story that I prepared this like slides or started this talk around 5 years back when I first presented it at a national level postgraduate ophthalmology postgraduate competition, and it won first prize. Second prize. It didn't won the first prize because it was a clinical ophthalmology conference, and I presented this non-ophthalmology topic, but it grabbed a second position. And then I presented the same thing in Dubai and many of the engineering colleges. And so I thought, why not? I should share this thing with my optometry colleagues and especially the students. And every time I speak on this topic, I learn so much. So there are a few disclaimers we are going to see. As I always say, in this session, we'll freely discuss. It's a very non-formal and interactive lecture. Please contribute. I would like to hear about your personal experiences and ask questions at any time. I will keep this talk as short as possible, basically half an hour maximum. But allow me to, speak on some few stories I have, because without examples, the concepts will not be clear. And to imprint in our memory, we need examples and short stories. So I have, please allow me to do that. But before starting this session, there are disclaimer that it is very informal, very interactive. I'm not a motivational speaker like Sandeep Maheshwari or Deepak Chopra, nor I'm a philosopher. Just sharing my own learned experiences, right? So that is it. But, in our life, there are many people, many mentors, many books who directly, indirectly, they influence us. So you will find some flavor of influence from all these books or people in the slide. You might find, yeah. So who is this? This is me. And, if you have seen in the first slide, I have highlighted the word YO in you. So what is you? YO, again, you are important. What is YO? Young optometrist or young ophthalmologist. Basically, this talk is targeted, my target audience today is the young optometrist who are, are stuck, as you can see the picture, they are stuck by the expectations of the family, responsibility, stress, deadlines of the examinations. And there is a girl known as anxiety who is looking, hey, see that hunk? He can manage so much things. Why not I should also hook up? So management is a buzzword in today's world, right? We talk about time management, place management, home management, work management, event management, relationship management, hospital, hotel. We read management books, attend seminars like this, learn managerial skills, practice tips to improve our learned skills. But we get success at times, but got stuck sometimes too. Several situations come, be it in a workplace or a home front, when we feel ourselves short of these skills and look for solutions outside. We always feel that we are right and the problem or solution has arisen because of the other person. This particular thing is known as, it's in psychology, we call it a defense mechanism of a mind or intellect, which is called projection. We project. Sometimes we project on the circumstances that my family condition was like this, there was COVID during my exams, or many people, of the special people, they actually project these things into the far off celestial bodies also, which are like revolving lakhs of time years far from us, but they just project that due to this celestial body, my work is not streamlined or whatever. So this is known as projection. Due to this projection, because we blame others for our condition, we acquire the negative emotions like envy, competition, jealousy, and these are very subconscious things. Nobody wants to label themselves as we are jealous or we are envious to other person. But these are very due to this projection kind of thing. These things become subconscious and become apparent when we behave or deal with other person in day-to-day life. And I have a short story. Now I'll start with my first short story. It is from excerpt from a hadith. I know many of you will be knowing that there is a holy book, Quran, and holy hadith. These are kind of narratives in the Islamic religion philosophy, which are, narrations by the learned people, the mentors in the Islamic philosophy. So one of I was fortunate to get one excerpt. He was a mentor known as Sahabi. He told us a story that we have credit cards, debit cards. There is also a Rizq card. He made a concept of a Rizq card. Rizq means destiny in English and Prarabdh in Hindi, and Rizq in Urdu. So he said that when we are in utero in our mother wombs, Allah or God, he gave us, every one of us, a Rizq card, and he filled that card with 100%. It's not like my Rizq will be 50%, your will be 40%, other will be 100. It's all 100%. But the proportion of the things in that Rizq may vary. That if I get a good job, employment, but I'll be more busy, and in my Rizq there will be no rest. If someone has blessed with good children, money, he will be, taken away something or other thing. So it's like, but we cannot complain to the God because the Rizq is 100%. Other thing about Rizq is, nobody can take our Rizq. I cannot take your Rizq. I cannot steal your Rizq. Only Allah can give the Rizq. If we are thankless for something we have, it can delete that Rizq, decline to us, it will be declined. And if we are very thankful for what we have been, given, and we feel blessed, that proportion will increase. So the crux and the learning story here is, when we are given the equal Rizq, but the proportion may vary, and our Rizq depends upon how we behave. If we behave like a thankless person or a thankful person, so there is no point of envy or competition. As there are problems, there are solutions to every problem. Science says if there is a problem, there is a solution. But we need to work on ourselves and manage the self. And for that, we have to, reflect on things we learn, contemplate on them. And first requisite is, we should have time for ourselves. We are the creator of our problems. The solution lies within us. Again, story number 2. This story is from Ramayana. Those of you have not seen 20 years back must have seen in the COVID times, it was telecasted with highest TRP. There is a short story when Lord Rama with the Vanasena, or the monkey and bears army, reached the seashore. Then there a difficulty arise. There was a problem that how to cross the sea to get Sita Mata back, and how the army, so much huge army, will cross the sea. So the reactionary mind, Lakshmana, what he said, that take out the bow and arrow and kill the sea, and he has to give us the way. But what the responsive mind, Lord Rama, said, no, if there is a problem, there is a solution. And he prayed to the Lord of Sea, and he appeared. And the Lord Sea himself said, oh Lord, you are an incarnation of God, and you are very powerful. With your miracle, you can do anything. You can make a bow and arrow, and you can burn me or whatever. But remember that you are now incarnated as a human being. And if you use your powers in such a way that then I have to lose my boundaries, and the nature imbalance will be disturbed. So he said that if there is a human problem, the solution should be sought with the human mind, with the human solution. So there were 2 architects were identified from the army, Nal and Neel, and they make a bridge. So the crux from the learning from here is, human problems have human solutions, should have human solutions. And we should look into ourselves and not project blame on any celestial bodies, and no chamatkar or miracle can solve our problems. Third, Buddha says here, written Buddha says, Apo Deepa Bhava, which means be your own light, apne Deepak Swayam Bano. This is the final and the last story of this talk, then we'll move ahead faster. There were 5 disciples of Buddha, Lord Buddha, and one of them was Anand. He was very ardent devotee of Lord Buddha. He was very fond of Buddha and Buddha was very fond of him. During his last days, when on the deathbed, Anand went to Buddha and said, "Oh Lord, you are now going for a Mahaprayan. So give me something, a talisman or guidance or teaching, which, I will keep it with myself. I will, carry forward that legacy, will contemplate on it. Give me that talisman." Buddha would have given, should have given him anything, he was teaching them from so many years. But what Buddha says in the last word, as his last word to his ardent devotees, that Apo Deepa Bhava, be your own light, because Buddha knew that the duty of the master or the mentor is to empower us. The real fight or the challenges we have to overcome. They can only guide us, but they cannot live our life, our destiny, our rizq or our prarabdha. We are the creator of our own destiny. We'll see how. We have already always, read the 3 R's in our life: the reading, writing, arithmetic. But the journey of life is not a cakewalk. And, you can see this picture that staying positive is a rare skill in the world full of stress and worries. There are very much worries about the growing amount of tension, the health of our beloved ones, the storm in Kolkata, or the plane crash in Karachi, or whatever. Life is full of stresses. But managing the self requires clarity of 4 more R's. These are responsibility, relationship, role, and resources. If we are clear with these 4 R's, we can become a controller from a victim to those situations. As we've already said, life is not a cakewalk, and those 3 R's are not sufficient. The first R is responsibility. It is ability to respond in a situation. We should think on ourselves. Do we react or respond in a situation in day-to-day life, in our professional life, or in our home life? Do we react or respond? We have just took an example of a reactionary mind and a responsive mind. Mechanical act of receipt of a stimulus is reaction. It's at the spinal level. But if we give a pause, think, and choose to act with awareness, to act, it is our response to that situation. It is at a very conscious level. Be careful of the consequences. We all know Newton's 3rd law. To every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction, But when we are angry, we speak such words which might, disturb someone's peace of mind. We can abuse. And later on, when the other person retaliates, we think, हमने तो कुछ कहा ही नहीं. We never speak anything. हम तो कुछ कहते ही नहीं. वो गुस्से में निकल गया होगा. I was disturbed, and it would have slipped. It was a tongue slip. But remember, when you speak, when you do something, it should be with the awareness, and should be a response. Second part of this responsibility, the second concept is, do we feel responsible if we are doing things for our parents, patients, societies, etc., or we feel overwhelmed with the situations? For example, like if an army personnel is fighting on the forefront at the borders, he feels actually responsible for his country. He feels accountable. He does not feel overwhelmed that people are sitting in their own homes and, we are struggling our life away from our family. And now the health personnel, the doctors, our police workers, they, at the cost of their lives, they are just fighting like the corona warriors. but they feel responsible for that. They think that this is our responsibility. And if we don't feel that it's like our responsibility, or we are overwhelmed with the stressful situations, be in work life or home life, we feel exploited at our own cost, that we are working for others. We have no time for us and everyone is thankless. This kind of thinking is very much different from the thinking of being a responsible person. And in the last, we get frustrated and curse our fate and destiny. It should not be done. And now we'll see how we shape our destiny. We are actually the creator. If we think positive, we'll generate the positive feelings. The positive feelings will turn into the positive attitude, subsequently to the action. When you do one thing for doing one repeat thing for at least fortnight and then 3 months, you can sustain, it becomes your habit. And habit becomes a personality. And mind my words, personality becomes a destiny. You can experiment it by yourself. Just start seeing with awareness to your thoughts, that what kinds of thoughts are you generating? Are you generating some positive thoughts for everyone, for yourself, for your family, colleagues, boss, subordinates? Or you just creating some weird thoughts, some shararti thoughts? Lao Tzu was a very much revered Chinese philosopher. It's his very much, famous quote that what your thoughts, they become words, words become actions, actions become habits, habits become character, and character subsequently becomes your destiny. Second thing is relationship. I think I know people, especially the young ones, will be very glad to see the two hearts in an umbrella, but it has nothing to do what you are thinking about. It's not a love guru thing. It is relationship with ourself. It is the most meaningful relationship. Healthy relationship with ourself, we will have means to build healthy relationship with others. There is a our in yourself concept. When we see us in others, when I see our benefit in yourself, this is a relationship, and it can be possible if we are in healthy relationship with ourselves. Let's say, for example, if we are critical with our own behavior, we will be probably critical with how others behave. Being critical means it's again related to the psychology. Being critical means in psychology either becomes remain in a complexes, like if either remain in an inferiority complex always or in a superiority complex. Both are pathological. If we always think that we don't have enough resources, I'm stuck with the poverty, and always critical about your appearance, you have not accepted the way you are, then you'll be always be critical towards others and you will not accept how others behave. This is a foundation. By becoming more tolerable to ourselves, we become tolerant to others, and others will become more tolerant to ourselves in this process. And let's see how this dynamics works, the relationship, the issues of self and relationship. The unstable self leads to poor family relationships, subsequently poor workplace relationships, and poor performance in outcome. This is very much true. We always we have experience in our professional life when our boss comes and he just thrashes everything, does not listen to what we are going to say, and he's like, then what the students say, or the aaj ye ladke aaye honge ghar se, today he must have fought with his wife, or his or her spouse must have scolded him or her, and that's why he's like behaving like this. Actually, in a sense, on a lighter note, we say like this, but it's actually true, because we carry forward the stresses and tensions of our professional work to our household, and household stressors to our workplace. But if we have a good insight or relationship with ourselves, it will lead to good family relationship. And if we have a satisfactory self and family relationship, it will lead to a good workplace relationship and excellent performance and outcome at work. This is actually true. This is just my experience, and you are just free to be critical about it, appraise it, or try it. The third R is role. It is a prescribed or expected behavior associated with a particular position or status in a group or an organization. But we need to be very clear that throughout the day, we are performing a role of a parent, sibling, spouse, boss, or subordinate. And we cannot change our roles. I cannot be bossy to my spouse or my children. And in fact, I should treat my subordinates as my children sometimes. So this is the dynamics of the roles. Each role you play like a performer, do your best and forget the rest, as these are two marked in red. Remember, we are different in the form of various roles that we are performing. Performing our roles in a detached manner without going in pain for an untoward situation. If we do like that, we come out of a situation with satisfaction. It is very difficult, like doing something with a detached manner. And I had so many, I was struggling with so many years to do something with a detached manner. How can I be detached for what I am doing? Actually, I'm responsible for what I'm doing. I'm accountable for what I'm doing. But being detached means that do not stuck to the result of that. Like if we have started some startup before, let's say COVID, and because of this unprecedented situation arisen because of this pandemic, our startup got failed. Our new optical shop the idea got destroyed. It's okay. We tried our best. And the situation, this unprecedented situation was beyond our control. But if we get attached to that thing, that no, we have lost so much things, and then we cannot progress in life now ahead. So doing something in a detached manner means doing things with awareness, with 100% passion, interest, but you have to, get rid of that attachment of the fruit of those, works. That is the role, be a performer. Last R is resources, and they should be at our command. What are our immediate resources? Our house, cars, Lamborghinis, Mercedes? No. Our immediate resources are our body, mind, and intellect. It is our duty to keep our body in a relaxed, healthy, and resourceful states. There are many AIMS uh, pass outs and alumnus here, and if you have seen the AIMS monogram or the logo, it says the Sharir Madhyam Khalu Dharm Sadhanam. It means the healthy body is the instrument for practicing the dharma or the good deeds. If our health is not good, then you cannot practice the dharma or the good deed. Good exercise daily, balanced diet, blah blah blah. People say should be practiced. Our mind should also be very calm and positive. A calm and positive mind is a friend, and a disturbed and heavy mind is an enemy. And we all know that our mind and intellect can be a best friend or a worst enemy. Let's just imagine if it's a friend who will always think positive, remain in present, has attitude of gratitude towards everyone, focus on the good qualities of others, recognize the roles of juniors and acknowledge the roles of seniors in success, the mentors, teachers, is a very good friend. And good friend, and if our mind is like this, it will be a good friend. Intellect should also be very open and always be a part of a solution to a problem and not a victim to a problem. Many people we see in our day-to-day life are always very much critical and negative towards everything. You take anything, you take politics, you take cricket, you take football, you take any topic in front of them, they'll always be critical about everything. And there will be people around us, they always be positive about everything in life. They will think positive about the cricket results. If we get defeat in some particular match, if our country doing something and by mistake the PSLV launch got this thing, they will starting blaming ISRO. But if we have a positive mindset, we'll think the positive thing in everything. So these are the resources. To conclude, self-management is a very gradual and continuous process. It's like not a chutki thing or a miracle that now I have determined that I'll be positive, I'll do this, and I'll manage myself. It's a very gradual and continuous process, achievable by constantly reflecting upon and contemplating on these 4 hours and many other things which we learn in day-to-day life, to think about them, to analyze them, self analyze them, then contemplate them again and again, practice them, will fail, then practice. And in this process, it can be achieved. If we are able to manage ourselves, we feel empowered and perform to the best of our abilities. We will have excellent interpersonal relationship with others, and we'll spread the positivity around us. With this quality, we can be asset to our family, our organization, society, and country, and a powerful instrument in spreading peace to the world. And today's world actually needs peace and tolerance. I urge to all of my students, especially, take care of yourself, take time for yourself, be responsible, be responsive, do your role, your prescribed role like a performer, right? And take care of your resources and have a healthy relationship with yourself. Thank you so much. Remember, always remember that God has always something for us, a key for every problem, a light for every shadow, a relief for every sorrow, and plan for every tomorrow. So this COVID pandemic, this too shall pass. Thank you. And I'll leave you with this slide, which these two pictures I have come across while preparing the slides. One is saying successful versus unsuccessful people. Another said, some people will hate you no matter what, because you're not right or right, but you are different. So be different, be unique. And the last story, the fourth and the last story before I'll stop bragging. The last story is, once, this is a very, very much common question, the frequently asked question. I want to just answer it. And it was my question once a time, that I do everything good with others. In spite of that, some people hate me. And I always do good for others, but people does not reciprocate good. And one of the, you must have seen he was my mentor in one of the second slides, which I show. He influenced my life in such a brilliant manner. He gave me an example. He said, Sumit, if you are stuck in a jungle in front of a tiger, right? And tiger will eat you, try to eat you, will try to consume you. And if in that particular moment, if you say, oh tiger, don't kill me, don't eat me, because I have been a vegetarian since my whole life, it will not work. He said in Hindi that eating other thing, tiger is a carnivorous और खाना उसका स्वभाव है. ऐसे ही it is his nature to consume or cannibalize. Likewise, many people in our life, including us, have certain kind of nature which we cannot change. So the perfect example I always remember, that you cannot convince a tiger that please don't eat me because I have been a vegetarian whole of my life. It was not going to work. We cannot change others. What we can do, just change ourselves. And there I tried to, discuss few things, and now the discussion is open. If somebody has questions, especially to me, they can mail me. And now, as per the disclaimer, because I am not a expert or something, if there are any questions, comments, we'll take up, we'll learn from each other, and the questions will be open for the house. Thank you so much.